Hi everyone, welcome to Virgo season. After a whole month of Leo season, of holidays, of excitement, of summertime, of being out with the family, of enjoying ourselves, of finding our joy, finding our confidence, finding and rediscovering our sense of self, our talents and skill set that we truly want to pursue, that appeals to our heart, now becomes the time to move to practicality and bringing all of that into manifestation. The practical application, the outlet, the material manifestation of dreams is the aim of Virgo season. It is an essential season, it is an essential part of the process, and every season adds the elements of that sign into our physical body, enabling us to do the things that need to be done according to that sign. And Virgo is a sign that believes in practicality, that believes in analysis, that believes in synthesis of what's real, what's not, and then giving our all to what's real and what's useful and what makes us useful to the world, what makes us of service to the world. So the analysis, edit, refinement, prioritization, honing on the detail and creating the efficiency of things is the aim of this season, and it is done with happiness, it is done with comfort, it is done with a sense of being useful to what we came here to deliver. So, this is the time when we will focus on what Leo season brought out and see how we can make it useful and tangible for our life and for the world in general. We will look at what the last couple of months have shown us. We will synthesize that objectively into something useful and tangible for us. We will be looking at doing things in a step by step fashion because Virgo believes in the process of things. It believes in going through the required steps to reach where we need to go. Refine, define, and then divine is their motto, and that should be the quality that we need to incorporate in our work. And we will find our mind, our heart, our body react in that fashion, the groundedness of it all, and the ability to deliver on what needs to be done, doing the right things would be seen. We will see ourselves going in that direction in Virgo season. Virgo season rides the duality as well. It is not a very well known fact that it is a dual sign because the duality of Virgo is a little bit subtle and hidden. It rides the duality only to be able to see both sides of things. So here we see both side of things, what has happened and what is about to happen, and we keep what's useful and what is not useful and discard what's not useful. It is the digestion process, and Virgo rules that part of our body. It rules the intestine, it rules the small intestine. When we digest the information that has come through to us, and then through the walls of the intestine, we absorb what's useful into our bloodstream, and we see a rush of energy. We see a rush of things moving forward. We see a sudden opening of things that were pending so far because now we have decided what we truly want to do and we are taking the requisite right steps towards it. What happens here beyond the reality, beyond the shift, the mutability of the season and the changes that come with it, what happens beyond that is that we will be creating something that we can do in a sustained fashion for a long time. Perfectionist is the name that is given to this sign because it's actually a very, very sensitive sign. So we will be sensitive in our mind and our heart, but only to being useful to the world. We want to deliver something that is useful to the world, sensitive to making sure that we are giving our best to the world. You will not feel at ease in this season if you feel you're not giving your best to what you need to do. So, my charge to you during this season, which is a season of knowing exactly what we want to do and then going through the requisite list and the steps and the cleaning of it all and going practically and pursuing those exact things, is that right at the start of this season when Mercury enters Virgo on 29th of August, I will request you to take this weekend to figure out these 4 or 5 things, or maybe precise 3 things that are practical, that are useful, that you know you want to get done and you will feel better for it if you're done with it. Put them on the list And you will find the support and the energy to do that and deliver on that over the course of next 4 weeks, because we have all the support we need in the initial part of September. We will have 8 planets in Earth signs supporting each other, working with each other constructively to deliver and manifest what you need to manifest. It is the time to manifest the perfection. It is the time to sort of go into the detail and get the things done that you've been waiting to get done. And your mind gets a toxic filter in the season of Virgo, which means that we exactly know, we have the discernment to know what our body needs, what our work needs, what our health needs. So we waste no time and no energy on the things that are not of value to us. So there is a huge amount of discard in the digestion process that happens, and we will be discarding some portions of our lives that we know are defunct, and they're supported by certain aspects that are happening in the middle of this month, which is Jupiter and Neptune comes together, and Sun and Neptune are opposing each other on 10th of September. And then this Jupiter Neptune square happens around 21st of September, and in between that, on 18th of September, we have Saturn going direct as well. So there will be a huge amount of release of toxins, of what is toxic in our life, which will happen in this season. What is diminishing your light, what is diminishing your energy, what is not worth your time, or the people for that matter that aren't worth your mind. We will be looking at detoxing that art. We get sharp, we get it right, but the delight in mistakes is missing in this season. So be ready, you will be critical of your own mistakes here. And that is where we learn, right? We absorb the good of a sign, and then we try to manage the learnings of that sign or the growth elements of that sign. And Virgo has the growth element of trying to learn how to not get stuck in negative loop of thinking, critical thinking about ourselves or about the situation. We want to get things right, we want to be discerning, but our mind tends to go in loop sometimes of what's not working in this season, and you will have to actively pull yourself out of that thinking process when it kicks in. But we have aspects to support us to get out of that situation, because Jupiter is making a square multiple times to your personal planets. On 5th and 6th of September we have it, on 8th of September we have it, on 11th of September we have it. So we have chances to get out of that situation and be inspired about our future while we are being practical about what needs to be done right now. More importantly, even right at the start of this season, Uranus, the planet of sudden changes, the planet of innovation, the planet who wants us to be free of the old and be excited about the future, be ready for the changes that are about to come, that is getting kicked in right towards the end of August and the early part of September. Uranus is meeting all of our personal planets on 26th of August, on 28th of August, then on 29th and 30th and 1st of September. So right from 26th of August all the way till 2nd of September, we will be having Uranus meet Venus, Mercury, Mars, and Sun. So it's meeting all our personal planets, getting us excited about the changes, getting us excited about the fact that we are ready to now take a turn for the better and create with confidence what we earlier thought was not possible because we were not come out of a situation. And critical planets like Saturn going direct on 18th of September, that opens up the challenges, the channels of manifestation when it comes to structural changes of our life that were held up so far. The structural changes of our life were held up since April because Saturn went retrograde, and when Saturn is retrograde, we are internally assimilating those changes and figuring out how to make them happen in a practical life. And now in the Earth season of Virgo, we make those changes happen. We make those structural changes. So is this an exciting season because we have 8 planets in Earth signs? Like fire signs like me, who are always looking for the next spark, is this an exciting season for us, or is it going to be something that will feel a little bit of a downer? Absolutely not. Because we have Jupiter, Neptune, the fantasy, the inspiration kicking in September as well. Jupiter's once in a decade manifestation of our dreams, not forgetting to have faith, not forgetting to take risks. It will keep on reminding us the moment Saturn kicks in, Jupiter, Neptune, this whole let's dream for the stars, let's go for something bigger we have never gone for. Let's make sure that we are dissolving our old ideologies and going for something more inspirational. That kicks in the season of Virgo as well. So this is going to be a good mix because we'll have 8 planets on Earth to manifest our dreams, but at the same time Jupiter, Neptune over there to remind us what we came here for, what we are here to go beyond, what are our ideologies that we need to dissolve, and we dissolve them with a lot of excitement about the future. So this is a season which is dual, which has duality, which has both sides to it, which has 2 sides to it, and it has a ability to sort of look at both the sides, look at the future, look at the past, separate the two, and move towards what we know is right. We will learn from both our follies and excellence of each sign. And here, getting stuck in the loop, getting stuck because things are not as perfect as we want it to be, is something that we want to look out for. So don't stop and block your gifts to be delivered just because you think they are not good enough, or they are not up to the mark, or they are not yet perfected. We will be prompted to act. We will be prompted to deliver. We will be prompted to take a massive action this month because Mars and Sun are meeting together, and that is a very, very strong aspect to have. This happens once a year when these 2 planets come together, and that's when we get the highest of our ambitions. We want to just deliver on things. We want to get it right. Our ambition is amped up, and there's massive action that should be taken, and that happens towards the early part of September itself. The other thing to watch out for is criticality in personal relationships. Love gets a little bit practical when it comes to Virgo. And if you have any of the Virgo friends, or if you're a Virgo yourself, or you are a Virgo in love with somebody who's a Virgo, you know this well, that Virgo love is practical. Virgo love is about taking care of the other person. It's about doing those little things on a day-to-day fashion that practically support the people you love. So we could find the love relationships or the personal relationships a little bit more practical, more less mush, more reality. But that's the time when we know the true worth of that relationship. So love is expressed in a practical, doable, day-to-day, everyday fashion instead of over-the-top declaration, which may or may not last. The other thing which happens this in Virgo season is there's a huge amount of focus on health. Virgo is a sign which represents our knowledge about our own body, the knowledge about how our mind is affecting our body, how something which we may not even be able to figure out through tests and other things, knowing this, understanding this discernment to know what in our diet and in our food and in our day-to-day practice is keeping us away from good health. So those things are revealed to us with clarity, with a lot of detail, because it's a good time to research health practices. It's a good time to research your own health. It is a good time to take some tests and figure out whether there are things that we need to take care of when it comes to our health. Allergies, health issues related to gut, stomach, digestion, colon, intestines, they get highlighted in the season, so we can research and find the practical ways to heal out of it and come back to health. It's a great time to start a health practice, a new diet, a regular exercise, and nothing extreme. It has to be something that we consistently can do on a day-to-day basis every day and deliver healing. It's a good time for healing, but practical healing through earthy herbs, through root vegetables, less meat, Diabetics do need to be a little bit careful in this season, because what happens in this season is that our pancreas are stimulated. So if you are a diabetic, you want to be careful in this season, but you will find new health solutions, earth, herbs, etc., under a good practitioner, which can help us manage the health better. Apart from that, we can easily cut through a health practice. This is earth season when we can be practical about some things and come out of a situation of health and say, this is not good for me. Can I come out of it? And you could take the requisite practical steps to come out of it. The other thing is that you will find yourself cutting through the BS, if I can say that, in this season to establish what is essential. So you will find your threshold of patience with unreal stuff very low. If there's a person who's talking about things which have no grounds and no legs, you'll find yourself have very little patience for that. You want to do things which are real. You want to do things which are material, tangible in nature. Virgo as a sign is here to manifest something that is material, that is real, which is difficult to do in some situation. It's not the easiest of the sign. It is a very complex sign which has multiple layers to it. There's a huge amount of mental energy that is involved in it, mental work that is involved in it, in its pursuit of what it does. It thinks things through step by step and then comes to a conclusion of what they want to do. So there is a lot of parsing of reality that happens in the season, which makes it a good time to perfect what we want to make useful to the world and deliver it with perfection. So detailed amount of work that is required to be done, but you'll find yourself not having a whole lot of space for things that are intangible during the season. You will have a detox and a bullshit detector, if I can say, in this season of things that you know are not good for you. And you will in a very practical fashion look to generate tangible results both for yourself and the organization that you work for. And Virgo represents work, practical work projects, practical things that can help your organization, can help your company, can help your career status, can help your material reality, and manifesting all of that. So this is an introduction to Virgo season. I wanted to do that because this is a season which is not easily understood, because it sits between two seasons. It sits between the threshold of two seasons. So like a threshold season, sometimes we don't understand the true value of the season and miss out in making use of it. Virgo is a season which is essential for our existence. It is a period of change between two seasons. Only if we are open to both sides of the argument can we get to the right one here. So we miss out on sort of actually manifesting our dreams, because we go from dreaming one dream to another and then miss out this grounded period when we actually have to make things happen. And in the worry and going in negative thinking sometimes, or getting lost in the details, we miss the bigger picture, that this is the time when actually our dreams manifest into reality, as much as it looks like a grounded time. So, refine, define, and then divine, as I said, is the motto and the qualities that we will see manifest in our real life. I'll just briefly talk about each sign. We talk in detail in your sign video as well as in the new moon video about the season and the exact dates, because this is just the season introductory video. But till 22nd or 23rd of September, these will be the focus areas for each of the sign. You can look at your rising sun or moon. This is a season when we should try our best to refine, improve, and detail our work to create something tangible in these areas of your life without getting stuck in critical negative thinking around these areas, without getting into worry phase. As soon as you start worrying about these things in this season, it's the time to make the list. It is the time to make a tangible step. It is the time to sort of go and do something. Take a small step. Virgo season is not over the top. It is all about putting one foot in front of the other and knowing that by doing that every day, you will make a massive change happen. So whenever you start worrying about these topics during the Virgo season, know that it is your body telling you that you need to take a tangible step, that you need to do something practical, that you need to be useful in that area today, right now, by taking a small step in that direction. So, going through each sign, Aries, this is the season when the focus will be on your work projects, on practical work projects, on your work environment, on the people who you work with, your work environment, as well as how that impacts your health. Are you taking care of your health on a day-to-day basis? Your health routines will come into focus. If you are in a job which is to do with medical field, that will come into great focus and a new start at this stage, and you will get a lot of energy to focus on getting things right on a day-to-day basis, and you will do better by focusing on your daily routines and getting it right and doing the projects which you know you've been waiting to do, and now they manifest in a positive fashion. Your work projects manifest in a positive fashion. If you have any pets, your pets could come into focus, or just getting a new pet could come into focus, as well as their health will come into focus. Moving on to Taurus. Taurus, this is creativity. So any detailed creative work, your creative venture, your useful hobbies could come into focus. The arts and the crafts which require you to get into details will come into focus. Then your speculative trades, if you are interested in investments and you've taken certain bets in your business, there the details of that will come into focus. Your children, how you parent, how you sort of take care of the health of your loved ones, that will come into focus. Your heart chakra will come into focus essentially here. So the things that are related to your passion of the heart will come into focus here, and detailed work on that will be required. You'll be required to go into the detail of it, improve it, refine it, perfect it. Your creative works, your children, your loved ones and their health, as well as romance and love and passion, and how you express your love and romance to your the people in your life, the practical steps you take to let somebody know that you love them. Then a new romance of some sort where you sort of are supporting each other in some practical ways could come into focus, or you might be reviewing and refining a romance, or the way you love people, you might be refining that. You could also be looking to give birth to something that has been worked on in a very detailed fashion. It could be a speculative trade, it could be a actual pregnancy on which you've worked very hard in the sense of taking care of your health and taking care each and every step of your pregnancy. Or you could be delivering something in your child's life where you've put in and invested a lot of time in going into the details and getting things precisely right, and now you sort of are delivering that. Moving over to Gemini. Gemini, your home, family will come into focus here. So there might be certain home improvements. There might be gardening, farming, home cleaning, deep cleaning of the house that comes into focus. Your safety and comfort and that of your family could come into focus. Your parents' health could come into focus. The parent who you sort of are find yourself with more as a nurturing parent could come into focus here. It could be your father, it could be your mother, but their health could come into focus. There might be requirement to sort of go into the details and finding the right solutions, which you'll easily do in this season. Then your fixed assets could come into focus, which is real estate essentially. If you own a real estate, some sort of embellishment to it, refining it, focusing on it, thinking about it, analyzing it, improving it, detailed work on it might be required at this stage. Or you might be setting up a home office essentially, and a detailed work on that could come into focus. Then for Cancer for you, this is about communication projects. So you might be working on in detail on a communication marketing project, or you might be buying new devices which are required to communicate better and do better when it comes to connections, when it comes to communication of your talents to the world. You might be looking at enhancing your skill set required to communicate your work to the world. You might be taking short trips, and because of that your transportation and mode of transportation could come into review and work. It is a very, very busy time. The mental activity is going to be very busy. Thinking process will be precise. It is the time to speak your ideas. It is the time to express yourself. It is the time to focus on new ideas. It is the time to connect more with community, with neighbors, with people in your surrounding, with relatives, with siblings. Negotiate contracts, be out and about, and share your ideas with the people who you normally interact with. You might be traveling to see your siblings, or you might be interacting a lot more with your sibling. You might be interacting a lot with your relatives during this time. There might be a lot of negotiations happening in commercial contracts at this stage as well. So that's for you, Cancer. Moving on to Leo. Leo, right after your season now becomes the time to go into details of your finances. So you might be looking at your financial abundance, new ways of making money, reviewing your financial projects or reviewing your financial situation, looking at ventures or investment that yield consistent results to you, investing in talents that sort of help you increase your revenue, looking at your diet, refining that, refining all sort of resources that sort of contribute to you, the tools, the skill set, the equipments that you use, the food that you eat, the diet, your resources that help you create your net worth and self worth is in focus right now, and you will be focused on that during the season of Virgo. Virgo, for you, this is your life goals, what you are here to deliver to the world, your leadership style, your path, your exterior reality, which is your body, your entire way of being, and how you present yourself to the world will come under refinement, change, and a new beginning in your season. Happy birthday to Virgo Sun. If you're a Virgo Sun, then of course your career comes into focus and a new start in your career comes into focus. If you're a Virgo Moon, your personal life comes into focus. Your parenting style comes into focus. Your relationship with women in your family comes into focus. Your relationship with your mother comes into focus. If you're a Virgo rising, then your physical body, your physical assets, your physical way of being, as well as the way you present yourself to the world, what is your external reality, that comes into focus in your season. Good luck for that, Virgo. Moving on to Libra. Libra, for you, this is the time when you're sort of waiting for your season to start, and this is the time when we end certain loops and we do a lot of detailed work behind the scene. When Libra comes out in the light, people don't know that there's a whole lot of work that has gone on in the background behind the scene, and that is exactly what Libras do in this season. They work behind the scene. There is not a whole lot of show off going on. We are just diligently working behind the scene or something that we will release during our season. Spirituality, physical regeneration and purification can be a focus. Healing yourself in practical way, cleansing, doing a detox, going through a spiritual and physical purification is hugely favored during this time. There might be a karmic duty that you might be called on to deliver on. There could be a selfless act. It could be charity. It could be service without show off that comes into focus at this time, and you'll be well placed to do that at this time. It is the time to cleanse yourself for the next cycle that is about to come. Moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio, this is all about your visionary projects. This is a very social house. The focus will be on friends. It will be on your business network. It will be on the people who support you, help you grow into who you want to become in the world and be of influence. Your visionary projects of practical applications will come into focus here. You will be sort of working on something that is there to service to wider audience, to the collective, to your fan base, to a platform, to a larger set of people. You're looking to launch something diligently, and you might be working on that in detail. This could be futuristic. It could be a future concept. It could be a little bit ahead of time. It could be in field of healing. It could be in medical field. It could be a social service that you're performing for the world, and it's an excellent time to go into details of that and launch that. It's a big idea. It's a big visionary idea which has an element of wealth as well as element of service embedded into it. You might also be called to sort of deliver certain duties to your elder sibling, or to your aunties and uncles. Relatives might take some amount of attention because your network is going to demand attention from you at this stage, and you will be diligently working to deliver to your network, to service your network, your friends, your relatives, your older sibling, your tribe, your business network at this stage. So be out and about and socialize and sort of work diligently on something which delivers to your network. Moving on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, this is a very critical period for you because the focus is on you. The focus is on your career, how you are in your career, what kind of authority figure you are, what kind of visibility you want, your job, your boss at work as well as at home would be in focus, and your material contribution through your career goals will come into focus. What kind of career goals you're setting up for yourself, what kind of work you want to do, what kind of visibility you want out of it. So there will be a new energy that is infused in it, and you'll be going into detail and maybe delivering on a project which requires a lot of diligent work and detailed work, and you'll be doing that at this stage, and you will be in focus. This is a critical period for you. Moving on to Capricorn. Capricorn, this is fun time. This is the time to go for adventure. This is the time when a lot of support is coming your way because we will have 8 planets in Earth sign. And Virgo season is about travel. It's about traveling for work, traveling for education, on-job education, you sharing your viewpoints with a wider set of audience through publication, through writing, through traveling, through teaching, on practical subjects, on tangible subjects, you sharing details of what you know, sharing details of your vision, of your long-term plans, of your philosophy, of your knowledge to people. International interaction is very much supported here. International interaction through you traveling or interacting with people who are multicultural in nature, or you doing business with people which are multicultural. You're doing trade, work, interaction, editing, publishing work with people who are different in background than you by sharing knowledge with them and expanding in the process of it all, expanding your knowledge, expanding your influence, expanding your thought process by interacting with people who are different from you. Interaction with mentor figures, with people who are your mentors, who are your guru, who are your teachers, who are your spiritual guides, people who are guiding you through your life, which could be a father figure, they come into focus as well at this point in time. Their relationship with you, their viewpoints to you, their philosophy, as well as their health could come into focus of review at this period of time in order for us to refine, improve, move forward, build on, and create something more meaningful out of that. Moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius, this is a beautiful time of rebirth for you. It might come through a certain twist and turns, maybe even through a little bit of crisis, but we take certain turns in order to come to a wider vista over here. So there is a death rebirth process that happens during this time, which results in renewal in your professional life, in your financial destiny, as well as in your spiritual life. So there might be some amount of detox of relationships, detox of karmic endings with relationships or substances that could happen at this point in time, or through or with addictions or with financial issues which can happen at this point in time, because we bring to order when it comes to the things that are owed to us. So in joint situations we bring order, whether it is professional joint situation, which could be a joint partnership with somebody, joint financial partnership with somebody, it could be inheritance matters, it could be taxation, it could be loans, it could be commissions which are in joint with somebody. We bring to order the paperwork involved over there, as well as in our personal life, in intimacy, we have an open and clear discussion on that, on depth, on share of burden when it comes to relationships. We have an honest and open discussion on that. It is a time of rebirth which happens through a difficult process. I would not lie to you. The Virgo season is not the easiest season, but it results in something beautiful for you because you come up with a renewed sense of moving forward, renewed power, renewed physical vitality, as well as financial clearance which comes with it. So there is a spiritual, physical, financial detox that happens, and this will be the time you might be going deeper into something. It could even be a spiritual matter that you might be going into detail. You might be researching something related to healing, practically healing yourself at this time out of a situation, out of a disease, out of a health issue. You might be looking to practically come out of it, and you will receive all the support to come out into a healed place, into a more positive place, into a transformed place when it comes to your health, when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to your spiritual life, when it comes to your financial destiny. So it will feel like a turning point, it will feel like a renewal place, it will feel like a death and rebirth process at this point in time. Moving on to Pisces. Pisces Virgo season is all about committed contracts for you. So there will be a lot of focus on your committed partnerships, on your business partnership, on your clients, on your business contract, as well as the people who support you in fulfilling those contracts. The one-on-one relationship at work, your diligent support staff, the people at work, your skilled partners who support you on a one on one basis will come into focus. It will also be the time to sort of look into your personal relationships, and probably some amount of shifts and changes and refinement is done in the one on one partnership. It could be your spouse, it could be you looking for a committed partner, it could be you finding somebody and then going deeper into that. You looking at what do you want in a partner and discussing that out, or looking at your existing contracts and discussing out what you truly want out of your contracts. It will be the time to grow those contracts to the next level, to refine them, to define them in the way you want to make them perfect. So it will be the time to sort of look at those contracts and look for new contracts which are in line with what you truly want out of your partnerships and relationships and client relationships. So good luck for that. It's a critical period for you, and I hope a lot of success to you. Thanks everybody. Now we'll move on to the new moon video.